He wasn't meant to rule. The untold biography of Marcus Aurelius. Have you ever wondered why millions of people around the world still search for the name Marcus Aurelius nearly 2,000 years after his death? Not because he discovered a new continent. Not because he built the greatest palace. Not even because he conquered the most land. People remember him because he mastered something far more difficult: his own mind. What's even more surprising is that the book that made him famous was never meant to be published. It was simply a collection of private thoughts written by a tired emperor trying to survive the hardest moments of his life. So who was Marcus Aurelius? How did an ordinary Roman boy become one of history's greatest leaders? And why are his words changing lives even today? Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll understand why his greatest victory wasn't over an enemy. It was over himself. Marcus Aurelius was born on April 26th, in the year 121 AD, in the city of Rome. He was born into a respected and wealthy family. But unlike many children who grow up surrounded by comfort, Marcus showed little interest in luxury. While other boys enjoyed expensive clothes, entertainment, and showing off their family's wealth, Marcus preferred reading, learning, and asking questions. His teachers quickly noticed that he was different. He listened more than he spoke. He thought before he acted. Even as a young boy, he seemed more interested in becoming a better person than becoming an important one. One day, one of his teachers introduced him to a philosophy called Stoicism. Stoicism taught something simple but powerful. You cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. Those words became the foundation of Marcus' entire life. But he had no idea that life was preparing him for challenges most people could never imagine. Here's something many people don't know. Marcus Aurelius was never expected to become emperor. He wasn't born first in line for the throne. His future looked completely different. Then something happened that changed everything. The Roman emperor, Hadrian, noticed the young Marcus. Not because Marcus was the strongest, not because he was the richest, but because he possessed something far more valuable: character. Hadrian arranged for Marcus to be adopted into the imperial family. In ancient Rome, adoption wasn't just about family. It was about choosing the person most worthy of leading the empire. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your entire future had changed forever. From that moment on, Marcus no longer lived only for himself. His life belonged to Rome. 4 years he studied. He trained. He prepared himself to carry responsibilities that would one day affect millions of lives. Then, in the year 161 AD, Marcus Aurelius finally became emperor of Rome. Many people imagined becoming emperor meant living a life filled with luxury and celebration. The reality couldn't have been more different. Almost immediately after taking the throne, war broke out along Rome's borders. Powerful enemies threatened the empire from every direction. Then another disaster struck. A deadly plague spread across the Roman Empire. Entire cities were devastated. Millions of people lost their lives. Fear spread faster than hope. Imagine trying to lead the largest empire on earth while watching your people suffer from war, disease, and uncertainty. Most leaders would have panicked. Others would have ruled through fear. Marcus Aurelius chose another path. Instead of complaining about his circumstances, he reminded himself every single day to focus only on what he could control. His thoughts became his greatest weapon. While leading soldiers across dangerous battlefields, Marcus carried something with him that no one expected: a notebook. Late at night, after making life-changing decisions all day, he would quietly sit alone and write. He wasn't writing speeches. He wasn't writing books for the public. He wasn't trying to become famous. He was writing reminders to himself. Do not waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You have power over your mind, not outside events. The obstacle standing in your way can become your path. He wrote these words because he needed them. Because even emperors struggle. Even the most powerful people experience fear. Even great leaders need encouragement. Marcus never imagined that those private notes would one day become one of the most influential books in history. After his death, those writings were collected into the book we know today as Meditations. That book has now inspired presidents, entrepreneurs, athletes, military leaders, psychologists, and millions of ordinary people searching for peace in a noisy world. But Marcus Aurelius wasn't only an emperor. He was also a husband, a father, a son, a man who experienced heartbreaking loss. Several of his children died while they were still young. He lost trusted friends. He faced betrayal. He carried responsibilities that few human beings could ever understand. Yet through every tragedy, Marcus returned to the same question. What is the right thing to do now? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. That mindset became his greatest legacy. Marcus Aurelius died in the year 180 AD, while still serving his empire during a military campaign. His empire eventually weakened. Its armies disappeared. Its cities changed. But something unexpected survived. His words. Nearly 2,000 years later, people across the world still open meditations searching for guidance. Not because Marcus promised an easy life, but because he proved that strength isn't found in controlling the world. Real strength comes from controlling yourself. That is why Marcus Aurelius is remembered as the Philosopher King. Not because he ruled Rome, but because he learned to rule his own mind before trying to rule anyone else. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson his life can teach us. If you've made it this far, then you've already discovered that Marcus Aurelius was much more than a Roman emperor. His story is a reminder that discipline, humility, and self-control never go out of style. I'd really like to know what part of his life surprised you the most. So share your thoughts in the comments below. Those conversations often inspire the next story we explore together. If you're fascinated by the lives, lessons, and timeless wisdom of history's greatest thinkers, there are many more stories waiting for you here. Until next time, remember this. The greatest empire you will ever rule is your own mind. You've heard the rule. Now live it. This is not entertainment. This is your psychological toolkit. The crowd talks. The disciplined build. Join the circle. Subscribe for more Stoic rules for strength and self-mastery.